Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Just about 11 minutes before 7. Well, for the first time in 5 years, the federal government has released updated dietary guidelines. Those guidelines urge Americans to limit salt intake and eat more fruits and veggies. Joining us with more on this change is registered dietitian Marisa Pruitt. Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us.
Good morning.
So why make the changes? Why did the Fed step in and do this?
Well, I think the obesity crisis in America just got to a point where it could no longer be ignored. And so these new dietary guidelines are really urging Americans to take some action in their diet.
Do you think that they're going to do it? Do you think that they will look at the guidelines and say, oh, yep, I need to change?
I think many people want to. I think there are a lot of barriers in making change. And I know that being a registered dietitian, we see some of those barriers. But one thing that the federal government is urging us to do is increase our fruit and vegetable intake and reduce our sodium intake. And it's probably a combination of we're not really getting enough fruits and vegetables that have that good for you potassium, and we're getting way too much sodium in our foods. And so therefore there's a huge imbalance, and that's where some of the problems are coming along. And I think one main message to take away is that eating healthy doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. When we're looking at fruits and vegetables, for example, making some room by taking out some of the other stuff that's in our cart and adding the fruits and vegetables in.
Okay, so maybe shift your dollars.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, taking a look at where should the priority be.
What would you consider the most significant change?
I would probably say the sodium intake. The last dietary guidelines said for all Americans about 2,300 milligrams a day. The new guidelines say that for anyone over age of 51, for African Americans, for anyone with kidney or heart disease, 1,500 milligrams.
Okay, and that's
pretty
a noticeable change.
Yeah.
Okay. For parents, this is a tough one because kids and adults like fast food because it tastes good, and a lot of times that's because of the salt. So do you think that major, restaurants and chains are going to follow these guidelines?
I think to some extent they already are, offering some healthier alternatives for like the Happy Meal, for example. You can get apple slices instead of the French fries. But the main message here is we can still enjoy our food. We just need to eat less. We as a country just tend to lean towards those larger portions, and we eat a lot.
Well, I think a lot of folks are thinking of today after the Super Bowl as the start of a new year, so maybe these new guidelines are coming just in time. So Marisa, thank you so much for joining us and explaining the new changes, and we'll have to wait and see if they help our waistline. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.